both of you have both arms and the back and everything.
Right, guys. Brilliant night. I mean, atmosphere-wise, what a night. So I think we're just going to open up to the floor as we do. Because you lot are one of the few groups of press that actually ask questions. David.
Carl, was that the perfect punch?
I can't really remember much about the shot, to be honest. It was sort of from looking at him after it, and he tried to get up and he sort of stumbled across the ring, so it was a decent shot. But I can't remember it, to be honest. Yeah.
Barry, go ahead. Barry, you're saying that you think it was the perfect punch. You recall it a lot better.
I thought it was. I didn't even. Well, I saw it. But it was like lightning, bang. And when he does, he went 1-2 step back, right hand.
Just fell onto it.
Dynamite shot. Great tactics.
Shame.
He told him to hold his feet. He said, start holding your feet. One round.
Start holding your feet 2 rounds before, and you see, I mean, he stood and traded with him. But like, I know when he was pushing him back and when you stay on the inside, Kiko doesn't like it. He can only go one way. And Carl was staying nice and tight on the inside. And I could see him hurting him, and you know, because of his blurred vision over that side, but every time he hit him, he was going to his boots, sitting right there watching it. And he half hit him with that shot. He half hit him with that right hand. But it was the first time he launched in and boom, he just did a double whammy effect of him coming in and him hitting him with it.
He was very difficult to hit. I talked to Jason Booth and he said the thing I found with him when I fought him was he was really difficult to hit because he fights out this, and he's got really long arms, narrow shoulders, but very powerful body, and so the elbows come right down here and they tuck in, and but it was when you started breaking them up around the body that was great.
How would you sum up your performance, Carl? How special a night was that for you?
I think it was good. You know, I think I proved that I've got a good chin. I could hit with some clean shots, and he had them little rays on, or with the dangerous gloves, and you know, I could feel his power definitely, but he never once shook me or anything. And he's a big puncher. You know, he's a guy who's never looked like being hurt before. He's never been on his backside, and he's never even been wobbled. And he's been in with some good opposition, and I took him out there, and it was a good shot. But I listened to my corner, and the plan was the boxing from the outside early on, maybe giving away a bit too much ground and moving a little bit too much. I could have been trying to hold the centre a little bit more, but you know, we can rectify things like that. But when Shane says stand with him, I felt my uppercut was working well. I feel like I'm getting better on the inside. You know, and I think I was out fighting him there at one point, which he, you know, that's what he wanted. That's what that Golden was about at the weigh-in. He wanted me to stand and have a fight, and I done it when I wanted to, and I outfought him.
Carl, Shane told the few of us beforehand that he thought you'd finish him around the 9th or 10th. So did he encourage him to?
No, he never mentioned it to me. He never mentioned it to me. I hope he's had a few bob on it. Did you? What, nay? Good lad, okay.
Drinks are on.
Shane, when we were speaking to you beforehand, you said the fight went as though it seemed you were reading it beforehand. Were you happy enough with how Carl approached it, or did it go as you anticipated?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Kiko is to load with power, he needs to set his feet. So the plan was every time he set his feet, he's very predictable. Carl just offset him by just stepping back or moving. He was doing a little bit too much movement at one stage, and then you know he started throwing that right hook over the top, cut him in the eye, and I just thought now's the time to stand with him. And look, it just shows like he did exactly what he said. He said he was going to outbox him, he was going to outfight him, and he did that.
I don't think anybody's ever dropped that guy, not alone knocked him out. There was one shot hit him right in the middle of the face. It was a half a shot, and he knocked him out. So I've always said this guy's got concrete in his fists. He really has. And when he lands with shots, I see it in training every day, and I go, shit.
But he was tough. He took a lot of strength. He's a tough wee man.
Never hit him clean once, Carl, until that shot. You never hit him with one clean shot. You hit him upside the head. You bruised his eye. You never hit him clean until you hit him.
Good defence.
Very good defence.
He's got very one pace. He's got no gears. And what Carl was starting to do is, you know, in about the 5th or 6th round, he started hitting him with 3 or 4 punches, and he was able to hit him with 10. You know, if you watched him, he was just blocking up and he wasn't coming back. And the first few rounds he was blocking and then launching in with something, but he was letting Carl just pepper him with shots, and he wasn't firing back. He just started to break his heart.
And if you think about that, it takes a fight like that. You can do loads of things in training, but it actually takes a fight, the whole process of developing a kid is you teach him in the gym, and then you bring him in with the small gloves, and then the little incremental changes and alterations and risks that we take, risk reward, it takes time, and that's sometimes, he's only had 16 fights, and so we do our learning in the gym, and it's always so impressive, and it's just the way he handled it, it's just proved to me.
What about the atmosphere, Carl, the belt, and even KIKO? Does it feel like you're there now, you know, William?
Yeah, well, we're getting I'm not there yet because I want to be a world champion, and we're sort of halfway there, but we're not there yet. But I feel the excitement and the buzz now, and it's getting bigger and better. The atmosphere was great. It was an amazing atmosphere. They were very, very noisy, and I think his antics at the weigh-in added to that a bit. But best man won in the night. But I'm going to be respectful to KIKO. He was a tough man. He took, boys were saying, never really hit him clean, but I was hitting him, and he was still coming forward. He's a tough man, and he shook my hand after my fight, and he's a good champion. I don't think that's not the real KIKO, the one that was seen at the weigh-in. That's not really him.
Would you say, Barry, that he beat the best of KIKO? Does that mean?
And here's the thing, Bernard Dunn made a very salient remark in the week coming up to the fight. That's 2 weeks ago. He said KIKO's a better fighter than the KIKO that beat me. He just disrespected him and came out and had his hands down and walked on and shot him. And he walked in there in kamikaze style and got knocked out, never recovered. But if you look at KIKO, KIKO's improved and got better, much better defensively, throws combination punches, rolls his head, he fought Takalani in love, gave him a hard fight, pushed Monroe on 2 occasions, and he's a very good fighter. So the way he dismissed him, and I was surprised at this scoring, but I understand the game marches forward and walks forward. I understand that you got to give him points for pressure, but it has to be effective pressure, and I didn't think it was. However, I'm happy for them to have disagreed with me, but I think 2 rounds was silly.
How hard did he hit, Carl?
He punched hard. I could feel his strength, but he never made my legs wobble at all. I never felt any tingles in my toes or anything like that. But I could definitely feel his power. You can tell from my face that he's a puncher.
Did you feel you were going again, or did you think this was going to go through?
No, there's one point I thought I heard him a couple of times in the fight, and I thought, stick it on him. I thought my uppercut was working lovely at some points in the fight, and I thought that after about 7 rounds, I thought we're probably going to start getting to him.
What's next? That's the obvious question for Barry and already or whatever. What is next?
Go on, Eddie.
Well, a number of things really. A lot's opened up over the last few weeks. Be interested to see the IBFs. I've just emailed Lindsay Tucker and Daryl Peebles and just said unbelievable night in Belfast, and a lot matters. The performance obviously matters, but I feel that if you've got the backing like he's got here, it does make a difference in terms of what governing bodies think of you, whether that's right or wrong. I just think that's life, and I would expect us after the IBF title is fought for next week. Is it next week? They will put out a final eliminator for the mandatory position, and I expect us to be in a position to be nominated for that. So that's an option. WBC is an interesting situation at the moment. KIKO is heavily world ranked. That's something as well which is going to make a big difference. And then of course there's Scott Quigg. So luckily Sky came to me yesterday and said we'd like a show on May the 11th, and we phoned the arena straight away, and luckily, as fate would have it, May the 11th is available. So
not moved beyond Quigg after that?
Yeah, I think so. No,
Yeah,
I'm not talking about Quigg. Listen, that's a fight that everybody wants. So TV wants it, I'm sure the public want it, but just because they want it doesn't mean that it's the right thing for Carl Frampton. So we'll sit down with Barry, but really the aim is to become a world champion, not to fight Scott Quigg. That's not the aim.
Surely that's a better fight once one of them has a world.
Yeah, it is, but everybody says that, and most of the time it never happens. So, but Carl's aim is not to fight Scott Quigg. Carl's aim is to become a world champion. So we've got to provide the best route to make that happen. And if we can get that opportunity with the IBF to become a mandatory challenger, I think he should bite it with both hands, because
Lindsay Tucker said we could actually have a shot at the title.
Yeah, you can do. No, we can. Listen, we can, but we'll be a voluntary challenger.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll make a fight for the mandatory, But in the meantime, the kid could have a voluntary defence.
Well, what happened to Mayor's going up to featherweight in the WBC rank.
Yeah, and KIKO was highly ranked.
KIKO was highly ranked WBC, and you know, Taraz is number 1. And
the winner is in Aaron Regondo is going to go up, I'm sure.
He goes up to featherweight.
So there's options.
Are you saying that he wouldn't have to have a final eliminator, which is
No,
could he
could be a voluntary challenger, but I prefer to be in a mandatory position with no options, no ties. If he
this performance put him up to the mandatory, and then he is.
No. They will make a final eliminator for the mandatory position. But if the winner was to have a voluntary defence within the meantime, then he could be a voluntary challenger, just like the promoters would ask us if we wanted to have the fight, or vice versa. But I do like the position where you have no options, no ties, you control your own destiny if you win. It's a beautiful position to have.
If you're in that position, would you be able to get them here?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I mean, that's another thing. He's blessed to be in a lower weight with a huge backing and huge following. So generally in a weight division that's not particularly lucrative, that's great news for Carl Frampton, because it means you can bring people over for the right money that's going to make sense and still give Carl a huge payback, give a world champion a huge payback. And in most divisions you don't get the opportunity to do that, you know.
Rory McIlroy tweeted him, by the way, boys.
Yeah, we heard.
Carl, you seem to have set a very high standard for yourself anyway. Are you happy with your performance? Or?
Yeah, well, there's a few things that sort of went wrong, and as I said, we could change them. You know, it was maybe giving them a little bit too much space, more than I should have. I was boxing the tactics, you know, boxing off the back foot for the early part of the fight, but I could have been holding the centre of the ring a little bit more. But you know, as I said, it's my 16th fight. I'm still learning, and I just dismantled a good European champion there. So I'm pretty happy with the performance.
Remember, KIKO's 1 year older than him. It's not like he's an old man.
He's not even.
Carl, just in hindsight, you're met the fight in September last year, being 11th fight. Looking back now, do you think I've been ready for him then and knowing what you know
I
now?
think I would have been ready for him then, because I don't think he was as good then as what he is now. I think he's prepared better this time. He's been in America, he's with a new team. I think his head was all over the place. You know, we've seen a performance, a 6-rounder in the Devonshire, and he wasn't great not that long ago, but I think this was the best KIKO Martinez. He gave me a tough fight, but I thought I controlled it.
So do you take added confidence from that, or does it just confirm to you something that you already knew?
Well,
do you have any questions to answer to yourself?
Well, I know I'm always confident in my own ability, but I suppose when you get it, you know, when you beat a good guy like that and a good champion, it's always going to give you a little bit extra confidence. So yeah, it does. It gives me a little bit more, but you know, I'm a confident guy, and I believe I can get to the top. I believe I can be a world champion. I don't want to be brash or arrogant about it, but you know, that's what I believe. And I don't want to sound cheesy or anything, but if you talk about destiny, you know, I've been doing this since I was 7. There's a couple of times when, you know, I was about 15 or 16, I didn't want to box anymore, and different things with making weight and struggling with weight, and I wanted to have a drink. We were mates and do stupid things, but I stuck at it, kept my head down, and you know, I'm dedicated now, and I want to be a world champion.
And the European Championship itself, how much does that belt actually mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, I'm the champion of Europe, and it's a big title. It's a nice belt. It's nice looking, and it's lighter than the IBF. That's a bit heavy to carry about. So,
you want the real one?
Yeah, three belts.
3 nice ones. Yeah.
Just on the perfect punch thing, Sugar Ray Robinson knocked out Jane Fulmer in Chicago Stadium in '57 with what they considered the most perfect left hook ever thrown. And at the press conference afterwards, they asked Fulmer, was that the perfect punch? Don't ask me, I didn't see it.
Listen, can I just say thanks to you guys? I know Eddie will sort of reiterate this. Without press, this business just doesn't work, and it works over here. A lot of that is down to you guys, and we are really, really grateful that all the support we've got from you it's so important. And I keep saying it. And back in my day, we had Tom Cryan, and we had Martin Breheny, and we had Sean Kilfeather, and all the boys, George Ace and Jack McGowan, and all the fellas who travelled with us and were part of the team and part of the journey. And and you guys are part of that, and we're thrilled. And Jerry Cannon, of course, who is he's still here.
This was on the oldest guy in the room.
Exactly, and you know, so it wouldn't work without you. So thank you so much. Brilliant.
It's so nice to come to a city where you walk around today and people are coming up to you, oh, I can't wait for the fight tonight. Wow, Frampton, go on. You know, it's like the whole city is behind him, and that makes a huge difference. And it means that he's going to get the opportunity to do what he needs to do to become a world champion. So.
You said Carl, you wanted to become a Northern Ireland hero. Did you feel tonight when you walked into that ring and the reception that you landed?
I think so. The reception was great. You know, everyone was standing on their feet and making a lot of noise, and it felt good. It's going to be nice to. I was kind of sort of in the zone. I wasn't. You could obviously hear what was going on, but I was focused on the task at hand. I'll watch it back and I'll yeah.
And at the end, when you
yeah, it's sort of, you know. I said it earlier on, I'm an emotional guy, and I let my emotion get the better of me, and I done it silly.
Just when the skirt comes out, she's standing behind you there last
Rory walking right back and tell him that he might have won the US Open, the American title, but he never won the European.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.